Hey everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and today I'm going to talk about the series of unfortunate events first book, Bad Beginning. Yeah. So, I had never read this book. I thought that I had read it. I think I started it a long time ago, and I don't remember. I did not remember most of the stuff that happened in this book. And the TV show and the movie is a lot tamer. So this book is on the 2024 Preteen Teen Reading Challenge. I almost listened to this book, so I realized I had a lot of books to read before the end of the year. So I went through and I looked at them on Audible first, and I wrote down how many hours and minutes each book was, and I've been getting the shorter books in book form from the library, or they're the ones I bought at the beginning of the year and I just haven't gotten to them. So this book would have been 2 hours and 29 minutes if I listened to it. I read it, and I read a chapter a day. Well, that was the plan. I did have to start doing 3 chapters a day because the books are due back in 2 days. So we speed read. I read it out loud to my kid. There are some parts that I pulled back on, and I didn't read exactly what it said to her because it was just very unpleasant. That being said, it might be okay for a preteen or a teenager because they know that they can understand that this was based in a different time, and it's a terrible book. This book made me angry. Like, as a parent, as a used-to-be teacher, this book made me angry because nobody had these kids' best interest. And there is death, there is sadness, there is abuse, verbal and physical. Not to the extent that it could have been. It, like, being slapped across the face, being threatened. This is a spoiler, to get the 2 older kids to be in his play. He dangles Sunny in a cage out the window of a tower. It's a lot happens in this book. On top, something that really irritated. I understand the writer did an amazing job. Okay, the writer did an amazing job. There are sometimes big words used, and then underneath it'll be like, this word means this, or the word used here means this, or they're using this word ironically, and stuff like that. As an adult, I can read between the lines. Violet is 14, and there are some bad people who threaten her, and one of the threats is, "Oh, what I would do to you. You're so pretty." And as a as an adult, I know what that means. And as a 14-year-old, she knows what that means. But it's never, other than that, like she starts to shake because she's scared of what might happen. That they don't go into it. So I feel like this book would be better for teenagers and not preteens. Especially if they've lost a parent. I don't think that they should read this book. It's brought up a lot that parents are dead and that they're orphans. In fact, Count Olaf only refers to them as orphans unless he's in front of another adult that's not one of his minions. I'm going to read the back to you, okay? Dear reader, I am sorry to say that this book you are holding in your hands is extremely unpleasant. It tells an unhappy tale about 3 very unlucky children. Even though they are charming and clever, the Baudelaire siblings lead lives filled with misery and woe. From the very first page of this book, when the children are at the beach and receive terrible news, continuing through the entire story, disaster lurks at their heels. One might say they are magnets for misfortune. In this short book alone, the 3 youngsters encounter a greedy and repulsive villain, itchy clothes, a disastrous fire, a plot to steal their fortune, and cold porridge for breakfast. It is my sad duty to write these unpleasant tales, but there is nothing stopping you from putting this book down at once and reading something happy, if you prefer that sort of thing. With all due respect, Lemony Snicket. It opens that way too, with the whole. If you've seen the original movie that was made, where I don't know, I remember watching the movie when I was a kid, and it opened with like a sunny field of flowers and a little bunny, and then all of a sudden it was like, bleh. This is not that. That is kind of how it opens. I mean, you don't see the bunny and all the flowers and the butterflies, but that's how it starts out. There are some pictures. Oh, let me see if I can get the light better. There are some pictures randomly throughout the book. It reads like a book that's older than it is. This book is 1999. Ooh, what? Let me see. I missed the page. Yeah, this book is from 1999. It reads sort of like it's from before 1999, like maybe something from the 30s. It's very, I mean, there's a count. And at the end, when you think that, I'll tell you about that in a minute. When you think that all is lost, they call Violet Contessa or Countess. And you think the book is going to end happy and everything is going as planned, and then it doesn't. But you do get a warning. When everything seems like it's going as planned, Lemony Snicket is like, hello, if you think this is a perfect ending, just stop the book here. This is not how it's going to end. I do want the rest of the series. I do want to read it and see how bad it is. But right now, I'm not going to do that because I got too many books to read. I'm trying to decide what I want to tell you and what I don't want to tell you. When they live with Count Olaf for the first time, they are in one bedroom with one bed, like a small bed, and the two older kids are taking turns sleeping on the bed, and the baby is sleeping in a pile of the curtains. Like, they took the curtains down and piled them up for her because they thought it'd be more comfortable than the lumpy bed or the hard floor. And they have a old refrigerator box for their clothes. They don't have anywhere to hang their clothes. And my thing is, when they change clothes, do they go, like, it's not specified. I'm like, do they go into the box and then, change? Or is it like, hey, brother, I'm changing clothes, turn around? They don't specify that. I mean, it's just... and then when they go and they talk to Mr. Poe, who is in charge of all of their stuff, and they're like, hey, like, look at his face. He has a bruise on it because Count Olaf hit him. And he's like, oh, well, he's your parent now. He can punish you the way he sees fit. Didn't even ask a why or anything like that. So, he does have a turnaround at the end where he's like, oh, the kids were right. I'm so sorry, But still. And that picture I showed you, that is a homemade grappling hook because Violet tries to climb a 30-foot tower wall. Almost smell my coffee. And she gets the hook, like, to me, it shouldn't have worked because, and only because, it's made from a curtain rod that she broke and bent by hand, which means it was not strong enough to withstand a 14-year-old girl's strength. And now she's using it to climb, like, all of her weight is on it to climb up. In theory, it makes sense that it would work, but in reality, I don't think that would work because I don't think it would be strong enough to hold all of her weight if she could bend it by hand. Does that make sense? Let me know what your thoughts on that is. She does, in the book, she makes it to the top of the tower. She doesn't save Sunny that way, though. So my spoiler is, those were spoilers, but this is like the big spoiler, and it made me happy. So if you don't want to hear the big spoiler, just skip ahead. I'll put some numbers here. I'll put some numbers here for you to skip to, okay? Okay. So Olaf has her dressed in a wedding dress, and they're putting on a play in front of an audience, and a judge from next door is reading from the actual book, and Violet is like, no, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad, what do I do? Like, since she finds out this is what's going to happen. And at the last minute, she signs with her left hand instead of her right, and so Count Olaf is like, and now this play doesn't have to go on because it has served its purpose. I am now married to Violet, and everyone in the audience and some of the crew is like, oh no, she's a child. And he's like, yes, but I am her father, and now I am her husband. And Mr. Poe was like, this is an outrage. No, this can't happen. And the judge is like, no, she has to sign the write papers and all that stuff. And he's like, look at the paper, and hands it over, and it's an official document. And so she's like bursts into tears because she was tricked. And I'm like, you're a judge and you were tricked that easily? Like, really? Anyway, we'll pass by that. And so that's when the audience is like, evil doer, and like yelling things at him, and the judge is like, it's real. And Violet's like, excuse me, actually, I don't think so. And Mr. Poe comes up, and she's like, I signed with my left hand. It wasn't real. That's not the hand I write with. And they're, you are a liar, says Count Olaf. And they're all like, Contessa, we're sorry. And, your husband is correct. And she's like, no, I don't normally write with my, look at it. It's a mess. Like, no. And the judge is like, it is not valid. And Mr. Poe is gonna do what's it called, an arrest, what is it called? Violet waits until Count Olaf tells the person in charge of the baby to bring her in, to bring her back down. Count Olaf keeps insisting, these orphans are mine, and I'll find a way to get their money and all of this stuff. And Mr. Poe's like, no, if you think I'm gonna let you keep these kids, that's not gonna happen. And he's like, you can't stop me. I'm their closest living relative. And there's like a piece of hair in my face. And the judge is like, it might not be illegal to, try to marry someone no matter what their age is, but it is illegal to endanger a child by hanging them out a window. And so the audience is like, yeah, arrest him! Send him to jail. He's an evil man. Give us our money back. This is a lousy play. That's my favorite line. And Mr. Poe took Count Olaf's arm after an eruption of coughs, announced, I hereby arrest you in the name of the law. So he does a citizen's arrest because he's just a banker. And yeah, that's my favorite part. When no. After Sunny has been released and she knows that Sunny's not going to be dropped to her death, she's like, actually, I'm smart. And that was my favorite part. So do I think that this book should be read by a 9-year-old? No, definitely not. Unless you're going to read it with them and be like, oh, this doesn't happen anymore, or this isn't allowed, or if someone does this to you, the police will take care of them, unlike their situation. Maybe read it together. It's up to you. But a 16-year-old, they probably know some stuff. I don't know. I thought it was well written. I was angry. That's how it was so good. I'm like, are these real facts? Yeah. Bad beginning. Lemony Snicket's first book for a series of unfortunate events. Now, the rest of the books that are on the preteen teen reading challenge for this year is The Magician's Nephew, the first book in Chronicles of Narnia. I don't know if I might have to wait until I move into my new house to read it, along with The Night of the Living Dummy. Those two books, my library doesn't have in book form. I can sign up for the ebook, but I'd have to read it from my phone because I don't have any other way to read it. I guess I could get the app on my computer, but that might be... Anyway, Night of the Living Dummy, that's the only way they have the book is an ebook. I have these books. So I had previously, before we started this, I had already had Harry Potter, So You Want to Be a Wizard, The Magician's Nephew, Bad Beginning, Secret Garden, A Wrinkle in Time, Night of the Living Dummy, The Secrets of the Old Clock. I got Anne of Green Gables this year. I think I might have had it in another paper form. I have A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and I have Redwall. So, there was only 2 books that I didn't have on this book before I started, and all my books are in storage, so I didn't know that I was going to be here this long. Anyway, I am currently reading The Universal Harvester. I'm almost done, so that video will come soon. I am still reading Stephen King's, if I can reach it, fairy tale. I'm a little bit further than I was last time. And I am listening to Dark Matter. Off of these 3 books that I just talked about are on the Adult Challenge. I have Halloween Party by Agatha Christie on hold. It's currently checked out, so we'll see if I can borrow that book before Halloween and see if I can read that. Yeah. I don't know what my next book will be after that. So, I have to say that this book so far has not been that bad. This book, I feel like, was scarier than this book has been. So this book needs to be horror. This one is labeled, it has the horror label on it, and so far I'm like, hey, there's some creep, but it's not that bad. That's all I have to talk about. I'm gonna hop off here, finish my coffee. We'll take off my makeup and then finish my coffee. Play with my kid for a little bit, have some lunch, and then I'm gonna finish this book. Yeah. So, tell me in the comments, what do you think of the first book of series of... Oh my goodness, go away. I almost dropped all the books. What do you think of the first book of series of unfortunate events? Would you let your kid read it? Like I said, I read it out loud to my kid, but I pulled a lot of, I was like, and he yelled at them. It's hard sometimes to make up other things that the character did when you're actually reading and then you're trying to say something different. Did you like the series? Do you like this book? Would you have liked this book as a kid? I don't think I would have. Maybe that's why I never read it. Maybe I started and I was like, I'm out. Nope. Yeah. Anything with child abuse in it, I'm not a fan of. So give this video a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you comment below, I will comment back. So let me know. I am working on my challenges for next year. I'm starting to make the list like this. So let me know if you have any suggestions to go on that. What I'm doing is I'm collecting books that could go on the list, and then I'm putting them into one of those wheels and then you push the button and it's like, this one wins, and then that's how I'm picking the books. I will try to make sure there's at least one Christmas book on the list, and one Halloweenish book. But really, as long as there's a holiday book, it's all good. Yeah, I don't know what else to talk about. Leave your comments below, and if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. If you're not sure if you want to subscribe, you can click my face. It'll be down here somewhere, and you go check out my other videos. Share this video because sharing is caring, and someone else might want to know a little bit about this book. That's all I have to talk about. Until next time, bye!